Welcome to another unboxing by theplayersaid.com. I'm Grant. Today I received finally my copy of Colonial Twilight, the French-Algerian War, 1954 to 1962. This is a game from GMT Games, and it is Volume 7 of the Coin series. If you're not familiar with the Coin series, Coin stands for Counterinsurgency. And this is a two-player version of the Coin series where one side controls the government, the French government, fighting the Algerians in 54 through 1962. So this is volume, like I said, volume 7. I have volumes 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7. My gaming partner has 1, and I have not bought Andy and Abyss. I do have it on my P500, but very glad to get this copy. I enjoy my A Distant Plane, which is volume 3 in the Coin, also designed by Brian Train. I think Brian is an amazing designer, and I look forward to playing this game. If you're interested, I did an interview with Brian last summer on this game. It was a 3-part interview where we really dove deep into the design process, a lot of discussion about what makes this version of the Coin different, his vision of that, his vision of Coin counterinsurgencies in general. Learned a lot from that interview, and there is a lot of great information that is still on our blog if you want to go ahead and view that. But let's go ahead and get to it. This is the typical 3-inch, very, very sturdy box from GMT. Really like the art on this. This is done by Roger McGowan with C3I Magazine. Really does he did a great job capturing the essence of that conflict. Really like the look. I enjoy the color as well. The black and green I think is a very nice touch. So that's that. If you didn't know, this game was delayed probably for about a month because there was a simple issue with some of the cards. They were printed wrong and had to be replaced. So that's one of the reasons it took so long. I've had this game on the P500 for a year and a half, and I finally just got it because what they did is they took all the cards out and replaced them. So the first thing you can see here as you open it is the rules of play. This is no gloss paper, which is really good. I don't like gloss or semi-gloss. Coin rules are pretty simple and straightforward. This is about, well, the total weight is about 20 pages, but as you can see, these last couple of pages go through some of the scenarios, the terminology used, also goes through a solitaire variant. So really the rules are probably somewhere between 15 and 16 pages. And they're really not that dense. They do have a lot of great examples of play, as well as a lot of pictures to really help guide you through the rule book. For those that are familiar with Coin, this is a differently designed initiative track because this is a 2-player game. So there's a close-up look. This is also on the board, but you can see the initiative track is very different. It's kind of unique. I have used this initiative track with Liberty or Death, the War in the South scenario, which comes in C3I number 30. I was able to print this off and use it because it recommends using this initiative track in that 2-player scenario. So those are the rules. As always, GMT gives you a playbook. This is going to walk you through a fairly extensive example of play. It also looks like it's going to help you come to grips with the non-player charts, the bot charts, and here's some really good examples of that as they walk you through. There's also some designer notes, a list of all of the cards, it looks like, helping you understand the background, the historical background of those cards. These playbooks are great. One of the reasons Alexander and myself like to play these war games is you not only have fun recreating a part of history, but you get a chance to learn about some things that you would never learn about. Frankly, I don't know that I would ever learn that much about the French-Algerian War, but because I'm going to play this game, I'm going to learn quite a bit about it. So here are the player aid charts. You can see this one is the bot. This is the non-player. When you're playing a solo game, this is the chart that's going to help you do the bot, which is very nicely done. They've really made a lot of strides in those areas and have made those very user-friendly, and they're much easier to walk through and play. I'm really looking forward to at least doing some of these scenarios solo. Here are the player aid cards, and you can see one side is the FLN, the Federal Liberation Front, and then the government. So as you can see, the FLN is the insurgency, and then here the government is trying to stop that. But these are lists of the operations and special activities that can be taken throughout the game. These are things that you're going to do in order to effectuate the war and try to defeat the other side. These are two-sided. They're nicely written, good stock. These will not wear out quickly. This has just some general information. I think this gives you some setup guidance here. Also talks about the different spaces, their population numbers, some notes on them. And then here is the sequence of play and the process when the propaganda card comes up. So these help you play the game itself. This game only has one counter sheet. Coins are not heavy counter intense games. You can see here the government markers, very beautiful, nice. The French flag there in that light powder blue that we're all familiar with. Here on the other side are some administrative counters. These counters are for events that will come up in the cards themselves. So you will pop that out and put it into, usually you'll put it into a box, which reminds people that those are the active events. Here's the different administrative counters for the victory conditions. And then there's the support and opposition counters. This is how you're going to adjudicate who controls each territory and to what level they are controlled. Here's some bases and some other different administrative counters. On the flip side, there are the Liberation Front, the insurgents. Here's some more administrative counters, some deception markers. I don't see any terror markers, but I thought there was terror in the game. Maybe it's, nope, there is terror. There's terror markers. For those who have played the other coin games, there's almost always terror markers. That's a way for you to gain additional resources and erode support for the government in various territories. So there's the counters. They're great counters. They're actually pre-rounded. That's something that I really like. They've started doing those in all the coin games. This one looks like it's going to need to be cleaned off a little bit, but not badly. So there you go. There's one of the counters. Nice looking counters. As always, they do a great job. GMT definitely knows how to make a game. Here is the map. Let's go ahead. It comes in a bag. I do not keep these bags. Actually, I keep them. I throw them in my gaming area because you never know when you're going to need an extra big bag. This is a big map, but it is different than some of the other coin games because this map seems to be a little more similar to, say, some of the smaller coin games like Cuba Libre, where the map is a little tighter. You can see there's just not as many spaces for the to affect the game. For those that have played games like Fire in the Lake, the map is huge. This map, good sized map, but it seems to be a little smaller and is therefore going to concentrate the action a little more. I like that. Kind of a smaller map leads to a little more action. There are different elements on the board. There you can see the resources at the top, the control, basically the scoring for your victory conditions. There are different boxes on this side where you're going to hold available forces. So when you do recruit or placement options, you're going to pull from that. These are, the capabilities box is where these, the counters that I showed you that are associated with events, that's where those are going to go. So let's say you played the Overkill event. Having a little trouble, there we go. The Overkill event, you're going to place that in that capabilities box, and that's going to remind everyone that that is in play. Here is the France track. That is one of the new additions to this game. Every game seems to have one of those. It's just going to judge one of the conditions that you have to worry about. Liken it to one previously in Fire in the Lake, you had the Ho Chi Minh Trail box. This is kind of like that. Obviously, it's a different element and a different aspect, but you're going to track that on the board. You're going to put casualties and out-of-play pieces over there. And then down here on the bottom, you can see the initiative track that I talked about. This is the one that's made specifically for this game and is a two-player version of the normal initiative track, so it is different. Here on this side, you can see the FLN available forces. These are going to be, I believe, their bases, so that's where you're going to track those. So that's a look at the map. Very nice looking map. I like the colors. I like the blue and the green. When coupled with the crescent, red crescent, I think it looks very, very good. Here are the cards. Big stack of cards. This is a card-enhanced game. Not a card-driven game, but a card-enhanced game. These are going to control the action, similar to what a card-driven game does. But these don't provide op points. They typically, I'm having trouble getting that open, but they typically, rather than providing ops that can be used to fuel various actions, these cards provide different events that are going to cause things to happen. And you'll notice these event cards have two. They have a shaded, which is here, and an unshaded. Typically one of those are for the government and the other one is for the FLN or the insurgent. And you're going to see that on all of these cards. There's one that doesn't necessarily have it. But most of these you're going to see a shaded and an unshaded. So these are nice looking cards, good stock, and they will drive the game. Here are the propaganda cards. All of the coin games have a type of card that's going to lead to a lull in the action where you're going to do victory checks and other such things. In Colonial Twilight, it's called the propaganda card. So there looks like there's 5 different propaganda cards, and these are going to be seated throughout the deck, and you're going to draw them. Then you're going to do a victory check. You're going to do resources and commitments, support, redeploy, and then reset the game and start again. So you can see that's what those propaganda cards are for. Now in this game, they did send me a couple of new replacement cards. They're in this separate little pouch. I will need to look at those and make sure that I get the correct ones in there. What I will do is I will take the new ones that replace the cards already in the deck, and then I will destroy the cards that are in error and that they updated, because I don't want to get them mixed up. So there you go. There's a look at the cards. They do a great job on the cards. Comes with some dice. Always like their dice because it's they're kind of color-coded. You can see nice dice, blue, and then this one is the green and black, evocative of the art on the cover itself. You got your extra baggies, and then here's all your wooden goodness. You've got pawns for actions that you're going to place in territories. You've got your units, your bases. This is a base, a government base. And then there also, I believe, there's an insurgent base. So these are going to be deployed in different areas to gain control, to start fights, to eliminate units, and to take over certain areas. And they give you a good amount of those. This is actually a lot fewer than some of the other coin games. But I, once again, love the colors. The light lime green, the light powder blue, the royal blue, and then the black. So nice work there. There you have it. That is Colonial Colonial Twilight from GMT Games. Just got my copy in. I'm ecstatic. I'm ready to rip through this rule book and the playbook. Would even maybe love to do a solo game this evening, or at least dive into the playbook and do the planned out scenario. But I'm looking forward to this game. This is the first two-player, specifically designed for two-player coin game. It's going to be different than the others previously. I love all of my coin games. My favorite happens to be Fire in the Lake, followed very, very closely by Liberty or Death. I also love A Distant Plane, and I love Falling Sky. I've played Cuba Libre a couple of times. I enjoy it. I do not own it. The one that I have not played is Andean Abyss, and I have it on the P500. My hope is that sometime early next year, it is able to make the cut and is printed, and then I will own 6 of the 7, with Pendragon probably coming out in a couple of months, in October or November. So anyway, there you go. Brian, I look forward to playing your game. I enjoy it. Thanks for working on these games. Thanks for designing this and really putting such a great spin on historical conflicts, such that people like us can get into them, learn, expand our understanding of the world. Even though our opinions may not always line up. I know you're a Canadian, I'm an American. This is a joke. It's kind of an inside joke. Brian Train's a good person and a great designer. He's worked with us very closely on our blog to do some interviews for various games, and I really enjoy his take on these counterinsurgencies. So I look forward to that. Hope to one day be able to play this game with him. And we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. Lets us get some feedback. Give me your comments in the comments section. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Tell me to shut up or tell me to keep going. I tend to be a little more long-winded than Alexander. And also, please subscribe to us. And if you're interested in our blog, please check it out, theplayersaid.com, for written reviews, AARs, interviews, and other rules, tidbits, or strategy guides that we've written up. We've been writing now for almost a year and a half, and we love it. I think it's something that I'm going to do for a long, long time, and I think we're expanding our offerings. I think we're learning and growing, and it's been something that I truly enjoyed doing. So thank you for coming along in this journey with us. We appreciate it. So that's it tonight. I'm Grant signing out, and we'll see you sometime soon. Thank you.